Hello, everybody. My name is Rick McCutcheon. I'm a Dynamics 365 MVP. And today on Partner Talks, I have John Siefert. John, introduce yourself and tell the people who you are and what you do.
Hey, Rick, thanks so much for having me. So my name's John, and I have been a part of Dynamic Communities, which is a parent company of Community Summit North America, the BizApps Partner Summit, and AI Copilot Summit North America since Q4 of 2020. So, Rick, I was one of those nutty people that decided to take a job during the pandemic, and then had the whirlwind that followed it. Right.
So, John, I just want to say that I've been involved with this conference since probably 2011. And for where we've grown from a hotel room to what we've got coming up in San Antonio, it's quite impressive.
It is it's amazing because this event is to your point, Rick, this is a for community by community event, a for user by user event. And it's funny because so many folks kind of use these words like community around, and they've gotten a little loose with some of the terminology, right? And since the origin of this event in the early days, Rick, with you and Bob McAdam and Andy Hafer and so many folks that really built this thing up, to today, the one thing that's always stayed true is there are programming committees that actually define what the agendas look like for this event, pick all the sessions, that kind of stuff. There is a pure call for speakers program that goes on for the community to contribute their ideas, their thoughts, their inspirations for sessions and more. And all of that is for community by community, as opposed to a couple of people on a whiteboard saying, hey, let's talk about this and let's talk about that, right?
And I think it's great because I think we're so close to Microsoft and what we do and what we hear about. Sometimes we lose track of where the customer's at in this process. I know every year I work at the MVP booth for the CRM MVPs, right? And I find it amazing, especially on day one when you're sitting there and somebody comes over to you and says, "Can you tell me where I should go?" All right, what do you use? I use Dynamics. What part of Dynamics? I really don't know. Do you have your laptop? Yeah, they pull up the laptop and I look at it. Your F&O, go over and follow the purple. Or your CRM, follow the red, right? So the customers aren't quite where we're at. And I think coming to the conference, they really start to understand the bigger picture, but it's very well laid out in tracks on where I need to go and what I need to learn.
It's such a great way to say it, Rick. And it's, one of the things, all of this is what attracted me to come be a part of this organization, right? This whole kind of decentralization of intelligence with folks, right? How do you help people how do you learn from people who have already kind of figured some of the stuff out? And then how do you, as somebody else coming to the event, share some of the things that you've learned with everybody else, right? It's just such a powerful thing, right? When you have that sort of environment. But one of the big things that that I learned in the first couple of years of putting this together is that everybody's, to your point, at a different stage of their journey with whatever these systems are that they're running their business. Some folks are considering a big change, right? A big move, a big new, ERP system, CRM system, whatever it might be for their company. Other folks are brand new to it. Hey, we just put this stuff in, and now, golly, where do I start and how do I put this stuff to work and all that? Other folks, especially over the last few years, but are migrating, right? From sort of, hey, here are the things that I had in my data center or on site at my location. Now migrating into a cloud environment, or I'm migrating to a new system from Nav to Business Central, right? Or from Exapta to finance and supply chain, or whatever it might be. And then you've got a ton more. And I think this is one of my favorite parts of Summit, but a ton more that are just trying to figure out how to optimize this stuff, right? Hey, I've had these things running for a little while. I have to figure out how to optimize my CRM. I got to figure out how I put this stuff together with all of these incredible low code, no code tools that are available in Power Platform and that type of thing. And those are kind of some of the coolest, right? Because they're like, hey, I'm not coming in here to buy some new fandangled thing. I'm coming in to figure out how do I take advantage of the incredible stuff that already exists.
And I think what we've got new coming, a little bit last year, but more this year is, we've got people who are coming from organizations who in 2025 have budgeted for AI, right? And what do I do? Where do I get started on AI? So I think we're going to have a lot of buzz at the conference this year around where does AI fit into each one of these products, whether it's a CRM, whether it's an ERP, or what we used to call modern workplace, right? The the Office 365. So there'll be a lot of interesting conversations, and I think a lot of support at the help desks.
Yeah, there's going to be a ton of that through the Tech Medic desk for sure. To your point, Rick, and golly, we've got 130 sessions or so in the AI Copilot track this year for Community Summit North America, and AI pre-conference that's going on there on Sunday the 13th. That's going to have some great speakers at it that are kind of giving sort of what you'd expect at Community Summit, right? In North America, right? A for user, by user, for community, by community perspective from folks who are actually doing this stuff, as opposed to just getting up and waxing poetic about what the future might hold. We're talking about, hey, here's what it means today, and here's how you can start to put it to work for your company. To your point too, Rick, it's funny because, I think in 2023, people were like, is this AI stuff really going to be real? And is it really happening, right? And then before you know it, you fast forward to this year, and you've got what, golly, 100, 125 co-pilots that have come out from Microsoft during that time. Now you've got Copilot Studio, like the SaaS platform where you're going in and creating your own co-pilots and all that sort of thing. Then you've got everything on the Azure and AI side where people are like, without the guardrails of a SaaS platform, kind of creating their brand new co-pilots, right? And those sorts of things for their businesses. It just raises a whole bunch of question marks. I know ones that you talk about a lot, but it raises question marks around data privacy, right? The security stuff, the access control, so many of those things. So as it becomes real, it's going to just become super important that we all understand, hey, if you're accessing this data through a large language model, Copilot kind of environment, are you sure that data is clean, right? Number one, but also, are you sure that data is protected towards not maybe falling in the hands of the wrong folks?
And that's really important. So, John, let's talk a little bit about, it's obvious if I'm a customer why I need to get to this conference, but there's a lot of partners I talk to have never been to Summit, which I find amazing. Why should a partner go to Summit?
Yeah, it's a great question. And we just held the BizApps Partner Summit in July, right? So it was a first time event, a 24-hour immersion for partners into FY25 from Microsoft. And so we had, golly, 320 partners there, Rick, something like that. A number of those folks are also sponsors of Community Summit North America on the show floor, but a number of them weren't, right? A number of them were like, oh, you also do Community Summit. Hey, I kind of heard about that thing, but what is this thing about and all that? And so it's funny, I got to just have some of these conversations with some of those folks. But I think that, if I am a partner in this Microsoft Business Applications ecosystem, I'm a consultant, I'm a systems integrator, or I'm, one of the amazing ISVs that's out there, right? They're filling holes and voids in the systems. You come to Community Summit North America for three reasons, right? Number one, get a chance to shoot the breeze with other partners that are out there. You can network with the other partners and figure out kind of that partner to partner excellence that can happen at the point of the customer to do amazing things. The second thing is you get a chance to connect with a bunch of folks from Microsoft that are a part of the program. We've got a partner pre-con again running this year that's going to be sort of on like a marketing workshop where it's going to be helping folks say, what are the programs, what are the incentives, and what are some ways to drive demand generation, lead generation, account-based marketing, that kind of stuff. So pretty neat pre-conference that we're doing here this year, again on the 13th. And then the final reason to attend, maybe if you get a booth or you just come and buy a pass to hang out and check things out, is you get an opportunity to like network with a ton of users that are out there, and just shoot the breeze. And like my dad always told me, Johnny, you got two ears and one mouth, use them proportionately, right? It's an awesome opportunity to listen. It's an awesome opportunity to take in kind of those thoughts from the community of users out there. And it might spur an idea for you in your practice, right? If you're a consultant, a systems integrator, or an ISV, could spur a whole new idea of a product you want to develop, right? Or what have you. So I don't know, Rick, that'd be my call. And plus gives you a chance to maybe get new customers, right? Which is always a good thing.
You hit on this P2P thing. I'm an MVP, and my whole life is partner to partner. And every year I go to Summit and I rush on the last day because I still haven't been to all the booths. I haven't been around to talk to find out, what do you do in our ecosystem? I don't know who you are, and I want to tell you about what I do, right? And this year, I am going to plan on spending more time on the show floor because it is the best environment out there for P2P and finding out what's going on in the ecosystem.
Such a great point, Rick. And it's funny because you connect a few of those dots together that maybe you otherwise wouldn't have an opportunity to connect because you don't know the company, or you haven't gone to their website, or you haven't done something like that. All of a sudden you have a conversation, right? If I'm a partner and I meet another partner on that floor, have a conversation, all of a sudden, oh golly, I've got this customer that's trying to figure this thing out, and I just potentially made a relationship that could help solve their problem, right? Or create an opportunity for them, or what have you. I'll tell you the other interesting thing for the attendees, the users, right, that are attending Summit. I was helping somebody out 2 days ago, 3 days ago, who is bringing 4 people to Summit North America this year. It's their first time coming to Summit North America. They've never come before. They're trying to figure out their agenda and the schedule. So we're going through all the sessions, right? They're a new BC customer. So going through all the sessions, and they're looking to potentially implement CE within their organization, and they're doing some Power Platform stuff. So it was a chief financial person, an FP&A person, like a finance and accounting person, an admin for all of their Dynamics products that they currently have running, and then a more like business user kind of citizen developer type that is trying to figure out the low code, no code stuff. So we're going through and we're picking all of the agendas, and I'm helping them craft their classes for Academy and their sessions in the main program and all that. And by the end of it, they go, okay, now can we go through the entire show floor and you can help pick us out the company partners that we need to go spend time with? And I said, well, I'll tell you what, that's going to take a little while to do, but why don't you guys look through, the partners that are there and that type of thing. And then if you want to come back, we can put some lists together and that kind of stuff. But it tells you just how important that show floor is in the process, right?
You have to get some consultants to sell that as a service going forward, the concierge service going into the conference, but it's true. And every year I meet people wandering around looking for something that's right there, right? Go to that booth, talk to that person. They do that because there's just so much to see.
Well, we brought on a new addition to the team this year called Joanne Talia, who has been very busy, and her title is just attendee success, right? So she's working with different organizations to do 2 things, really: optimize their schedule like this, right? And help them through some of the things that are out there. But then also just make sure they can get the best deal at the event, right? There's special promotions that'll run for people who come year over year, right? Or special discounts for folks sending multiple employees from their company and all that. So she just kind of helps optimize their schedule and optimize the deal they can get to be at the event.
Okay, John, I'm looking forward. We're only a few weeks away. I'll put all the details for the event in the post that's going to be with this video, but I'm looking forward to getting to San Antonio and networking with you and your team at Summit.
Thanks so much for having me, Rick. Gang, we'll see you October 13th to the 17th in San Antonio for Community Summit North America. 500 plus speakers from the community, 700 plus sessions, 35 Academy classes, and of course the Tech Medic desks. See y'all there. Thanks for having me, Rick.
Okay, thanks, John. Bye for now.